Hey, New Life, good morning. Glad to be with you guys today as we're doing devotions this Wednesday morning. And I want to lean back into our weekend message and kind of unpack or expand on this idea because we really leaned into the statement of characteristics of those who receive and pursue more God dreams. And yet there was one element about it that this key piece that I want us to hold on to today, that they understand and embrace their God-given shape. They understand and embrace their God-given shape. I don't know about you, but I'll just tell you about me. I've not always embraced my shape. In fact, there was certain times where I wasn't happy with my shape. In fact, right now, I'm back to running and trying to get back to being a little bit more fit, change my shape a little bit. And of course, we're not just talking about the outside of what it is, but really how we've been made and how we've been designed. In this last weekend, we looked at it through the story of David when he was preparing to take on Goliath. And in 1 Samuel chapter 17, 38 through 40, there's a couple unique statements. It says this: Saul had his own military clothes and armor, and he put them on David. So David tried to walk around, but he was not used to wearing these things. He responds, "I can't move with all this stuff on." Now, here's the unique part. This isn't David's normal attire. And so all of a sudden, there's an awkwardness about wearing David's armor of somebody else's. And as much as it wasn't fit for David to wear, do you know who it fit perfectly? Saul. Saul's shape was uniquely designed. As a matter of fact, we're told that when people appointed him as king, they picked him because he was head and shoulders taller. I mean, he was of stature, he was strong, all of these attributes that make him sound like the perfect opponent for Goliath. And yet what David recognized is that in his moment, he didn't try to be Saul. His goal wasn't to just be a better fit of who would be a good match for Goliath. You know what he got comfortable with? Being himself, in the belief that God could use him. So look what it goes on to say. It says, so David took off the armor and picked up his shepherd's stick. Now, this picture is so unique to me because he's got his little shepherd's staff, and I can only imagine when he walks out on the battlefield, all of his own military see that he's not in armor, is like, what's going on? And then they recognize that he has a low position of a shepherd. He's got just his shepherd's staff. A friend of mine, I was chatting with Derek yesterday, he said, I picture him using that shepherd's staff like Yoda and whipping that thing around. Like I can only imagine the dynamics. But what he went to is what he was used to. He went to what he understood, what he was comfortable in. And then it's going to continue on. He went out to a stream and picked up 5 smooth rocks, put them in his leather bag. Then with his sling in hand, he went straight towards Goliath. He went straight towards him. No, there wasn't time kind of pointed, oh man, if I could only be like that, if I could only be stronger. No, he recognized that he alone wasn't enough and that God would be his fulfillment. And because of that, his trust was secure in him. And so his faith got big, his compassion got strong, and he went straight towards Goliath. So when we talk about shape, what are we talking about? And we want to break it down into these 5 ideas. S.H.A.P.E, our spiritual gifts, our hearts, our abilities, our personalities, and our experiences. And each of us have these in us. So our spiritual gifts, there are God-given giftings. And many times there's people will use words like I'm a perceiver, meaning they can understand certain stuff. And I kind of want to talk about mine in a way that just probably puts it a little bit more understandable for a lot of us. Do you know what one of my spiritual gifts is? Is the ability to lead. This isn't something that just became when I was a pastor. No, I actually think I had leadership abilities when I was in elementary school and middle school. And as I look back, I see that God put something in me. It's not just leading. I'm great at serving. I love working hard. When I see something out of place, I lead in unique ways. If I see a coffee cup left out, I'm going to pick it up. When I walk out of the bathroom in the church on Sunday morning, I grab towels and wipe it all down because I want it to look clean and look great for everyone. If something's missing, I'm going to hop on it. You know what else I'm really good at? Prayer. Not just in prayer, like behind the scenes, like leaning in and praying. I'm great at that. I love that. Or not just great in the fact that I can just do it, but I really don't have to think about it. Every once in a while, someone will be like, hey, Ben, can you pray? And then that comes natural towards me. Something else that I'm great at, encouragement and friendship. These are just the way that God's gifted me. And so I find when I like do different things, I lean into that gift set. In addition, God's given me a heart. I might say simply what I'm passionate about or what I love doing. Do you know what I love doing? I love hanging out with students. To this day, I still serve in our student ministries department as a life group leader, and it's kind of the highlight of my week. I look forward to Tuesday and Wednesday night, and young people keep me vibrant, and I love their heart, and I believe so much in raising the next generation. You know what else I'm passionate about? The unconvinced. People that are far from God, and building relationships and journeying with them. This is just how I've been made. Then it's my abilities. What am I good at? For me, I'm good at coaching. I'm good at speaking. I'm good at connecting with others. These are just kind of the way that God's made me. Then I have a personality. It's my God-given temperament. And it's pretty outgoing and pretty relaxed. At the same time, it's really expressive and tons of joking. If you spend any amount of time with me, you're going to joke or you're going to laugh because I'm going to share a joke or laugh at myself or share a weird story. That's just who I am. This is a natural part of everything I'm doing. Right now, I'm even feeling the need to share one. Recently, my wife was on a Zoom call, and she's in an office meeting, and so she's got her speaker and her screen on, and I'm over in the other room. And for whatever reason, I really wasn't thinking, and I did what sometimes guys do. I made a noise from my body that I'm not always proud of sharing publicly. Let's leave it at that. And I happen to remember that when my wife's on a Zoom call and she looks at me with total disgust and complete anger. A few minutes later, she gets off the Zoom call and she comes to me and she says, "Why would you do that when I'm on a Zoom call?" And I said, "Well, babe, if this helps, people didn't know that I was in the background. So they're not thinking I did that. They're probably just thinking you did that. So don't worry about it at all." You know what I mean? And of course, that only made her more frustrated. But this is just the natural part of what I am. Like, I love that. This is how God's made me. In addition, He's given me experiences, both positive and painful circumstances that God uses to leverage for greater purposes. So for me, what are some of those like? Many of you have heard about the fact that I lost a mom, the fact that I deal with anxiety, the fact that growing up I dealt with learning disabilities. And He's taken these experiences and helped shape me into what I do today. And by the way, God has also given you spiritual gifts and given you things you love in your heart and abilities and personality and experience that shapes you and makes you unique. So David, rather than trying to be Saul, he was himself, and he was enough. You are enough. I realize you might not be as happy with your hairline. I'm not. I bet you wished you were probably stronger in certain parts and bigger in certain places and smaller in others. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about embracing who God's made you to be and understanding that with Him, you can do all He's created you to do. So today, would you take a moment before you hop off this devotion and stop and say an incredible thing? Would you say, "God, thank you for making me the way I am. And for that, I give you praise." And if you'll learn to have gratitude in that area, here's what I'll bet. I'll bet you'll quit seeing yourself in the mirror the same way. I bet you'll quit seeing all your shortcomings and your failures. And I bet you'll begin to recognize that you are wonderful just the way God made you. In New Life, it's my joy to be here with you. Let me pray for you real quick. Dear Lord, help us embrace the way you've made us and shaped us. By the way, my bet is that if someone listening to this, they're going, "Well, Ben, if I had that ability, if I had that, then maybe." But Lord, I haven't shared about all this stuff in my own life that I'm not proud of, I'm not happy with. But Lord, I take all of that and I slow it down and I put it to the side to recognize that you have made me fearfully and wonderfully in your image. And for that, I thank you. Lord, with you, I am enough. Lord, help us embrace that today, all for your glory in your incredible name. Amen. Hey, New Life, I want to let you know that a week from Saturday, we have our men's breakfast on the 5th. It's happening at our Dublin campus. Ladies, buy tickets for your brother, your father, your boyfriend, your husband. Men, get registered. Don't miss out. It's going to be a powerful morning. I look forward to seeing you there. God bless you. Bye-bye.